Started thinking about my experiences growing up as the child of Chinese immigrants who lived in Georgia. We were the only Chinese family there. So this is what launched me into writing a memoir about our family's history in Georgia, Southern Fried Rice. And that was the only book I really intended to write. I was very unsure about even writing that. But it was well received, and in the course of doing research about this book, I got very interested in Chinese American history, something that I really didn't know a whole lot about, and growing up isolated in Georgia, separate from other Chinese, as I mentioned. Writing this book was an eye-opener for me because I learned a lot about Chinese American history, and so that led me to write a second book with the help of a number of people who grew up in Chinese laundries themselves, who told about their experiences growing up in those circumstances. So that led to this book, Chinese Laundries, Tickets to Survival on Gold Mountain. And just as I had assumed that I had completed writing about Chinese American history, I had the good fortune to meet some Chinese who, like myself, grew up in the South, but this time in Mississippi, and not involved with laundries, but with mom and pop family grocery stores. So that got me interested in looking at that aspect of Chinese American history, and led to me meeting a number of people from the Mississippi Delta, and they told me their stories, and I've tried to help them record their history in this book, Chopsticks, in the Delta, Chopsticks in the Land of Cotton. So, can't even remember the title of my own books. So that brings me back finally to the book I pointed out at the beginning, which again is a book that I never really planned to write, but I met a Chinese who had his own restaurant, and he encouraged me to write about this aspect of Chinese history. And so I enlisted the help of a number of Chinese Americans who grew up in their family restaurants helping out, and that's what led to the publication